Chess Brothers revolutionized rock and the blues, and how Chess Records entrenched itself in American heritage. As the Great Depression approached, the Chess Brothers were welcomed through Ellis Island from their home country of Poland. Their father soon opened a hardware store, which the Chess partially run within the black ghettos of Chicago. This immersed the Chess Brothers within African American culture and ways. This even inspired them to create their own businesses, liquor stores to be exact, called Cut Rate Liquor and 708 Liquor Store. These weren't all that successful until they opened the Macomba Lounge. The Macomba Lounge was a club where they invited African American artists to perform and show off their musical skill. After seeing some of their acts being taken by other record labels, Leonard decided to take the company his music prospects into a new light. By being involved in the African American culture at an early age, by building an African American entrenched business, and by using their gifts of recording, producing, and distributing African American artists, the Chess Brothers and Chess Records revolutionized the rock and blues businesses, which bonded an aspect of African Americans to the white community, which inadvertently made their radio station WVOD a civil rights megaphone and secured Chess's place in American heritage. Leonard Chess became interested in the record company Aristocrat Records, a record company newly founded by Evelyn and Charles Aaron. He soon bought stock in it and soon became part-time owner of the label. In 1947, the Chess Brothers met a scout named Sammy Goldberg. Sammy made one of the biggest scouting finds of Aristocrats' history. He found a man named McKinley Morganfield, better known by his stage name as Muddy Waters. Muddy actually was not found originally by Goldberg. He actually was originally found, Sonny Lad Slim actually ran into Goldberg. He actually talked up Muddy into playing with Goldberg. Muddy played, Goldberg liked what he heard, and he was signed to Aristocrat, with his first big hits coming as I Feel Like Going Home and I Can't Be Satisfied. In 1950, Evelyn sold the rest of the company and all of her stock to the Chess Brothers, which they soon renamed Chess Records. Hey, I'm Leonard Chess. I'm the guy who got all those different artists who made the rock and blues popular. Guys such as Howlin' Wolf, Chuck Berry, Little Walter, all my guys. But I need some skill to get these guys before other records did. I like to call them my gifts. First was Wolf. Wolf was a D tenor from the Mississippi Delta. He was found by Phillips, actually, Sam Phillips. He ran some records down in Memphis. He and I had a good relationship. So when Wolf wasn't doing all that well for him, he gave him to me. He produced really good songs for me, such as Killin' Floor and Smokestack Lightnin'. Soon after, he and I got into a little argument. I don't like to talk about it. Next was Walter. Walter, I didn't find him. Jimmy Rogers did. He was Walter's sideman. Walter grew up homeless, barely making any money. His only money came from working at clubs, playing the harmonica, or the harp, as they called it at the time. One time, when he was incidentally on a radio show, Rogers heard him and invited him to be in a Muddy Waters electric band, a band that Waters made that had electric blues. So he joined, and I let them into the studio. One time, when we were recording Walter alone, it was a hot, sunny day. We had the door open, the wind was blowing in, it was fine. So when Walter started playing, a lady walks up, and she just kept dancing. So ever since then, I tried to record her, because that record was a hit. Last but not least was Chuck Berry. That was. Chuck grew up with many different people in his family, very music-oriented. When he got older, he loved the stylings of Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters. So one time, when he went to a Waters venue, Waters was taking questions. So Berry asks, "Where can I get a record label?" Muddy says, "Yeah, see Leonard Chess," which is me. So he comes up into 2120 South Michigan Avenue, the place where we produced and distributed and recorded all of our artists and had in our offices. He came in. I saw Chuck's chutzpah immediately and invited him into my office. So I asked him if he really has any records or any music on him. He says no. So Chuck runs right back to St. Louis, grabs 4 records of his tracks, runs right back up. None of them were really impressive, except for one. It was called Ida Red. Of course, there already was an Ida Red.
Sid Adatro to the front desk, please. Sid Adatro to the front desk, please.
Of course, there already was an Ida Red at the time. It went like this, Ida Red, something like that. But we need a new name for it, so we don't get that mixed up or copyright issues. So I'm thinking, and I look over and I see a Maybelline cosmetic box, and I'm like, Maybelline sounds rhythmically the same as Ida Red. Oh, Maybelline, what can't be true? Just do the things you used to do. That was one of my biggest hits, and it was one of the first songs that influenced the rock and roll movement. And one of my biggest hits. Yeah, Chuck went to jail 3 times, but I really don't care. He makes good music, and I make good money. The leadership of the Chess Brothers is that they were one of the only people at the time who had the willing at the time to produce and record these African American artists, while other producers might pass on them. Also, they bought a radio station. It was called WVON. It only had 250 watts input power, so it could only cover the south and west sides of Chicago. They used this as a testing market for the records to see if any record was going to be a hit or not. But inadvertently, since they hired African American talk show hosts and DJs, they started talking about the civil rights movement since it was the civil rights era. This sparked a controversy and made Chicago a civil rights megaphone within the civil rights movement. The legacy they left was very large. The song Johnny Be Good was put on the Golden Record, a collection of songs and sounds from Earth, and was the only rock song on it that was put on the Voyagers 1 and 2 sent into outer space past the solar system. Chess Records, or 2120 South Michigan Avenue, was named a special landmark because of Bill Clinton's special landmarks, treasures program. There have been 2 movies made out of Chess Records. One of them was Who Do You Love? The other was Hollywood's Cadillac Records featuring Beyonce and Adrian Brody. In conclusion, the Chess Records produced, distributed, and popularized African American music, which secured their legacy and American heritage. Thank you.